When should you reorder stock for your Amazon store? In this video, I'm going to talk you through exactly what you have to consider to help you make sure you never run out of stock. Now, if you like this kind of information where I'm helping you grow your business on Amazon here in Australia, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up. That way I will know that you want more information just like this. Also consider subscribing to my YouTube channel because I post brand new money-making information just like this each and every day. And if you've got any questions for me, comment below and I'll answer them personally for you. With that being said, let's get into it. At what point should you reorder stock? That's the question. So let's think about this logically. So our first thing to consider is the production time at our factory, okay? So if you don't know what production time is, it's the time from when you order the product from your factory that they actually complete that and it's then ready to be shipped to you, okay? That's production time. The manufacturing time might be another way you'd think of that, okay? What's a pretty normal production time? 3 weeks, I agree. 3 weeks is pretty normal between, depending on your factory and what you're getting produced, of course, from 10 days to 30 days, pretty normal. But let's just say, just to give us some figures, that it's 21 days. Actually, let's just say between 14 to 21 days, okay? Just to make things easy. So that's our production time. What comes next? What comes next? So we've got our products produced. What should we be doing once our stock is produced? Inspection, yeah? So you should get your stuff looked at, make sure everything's good, and make sure it's all exactly as you want it. And what I do with inspections is I always tell my supplier I'm going to do an inspection. It's actually in my contract that I have with factories to have that. But I don't do it every time. I do it like every other time, for instance, okay? But inspection, well, that can usually takes about 2 days for things to get put together, okay? Next, I think Maddie said this already. So the next one is shipping, and that starts with to port. Okay, so depending on where you are, let's just say you're in China, I don't know, wherever it may be. Let's just say that's your stuff is in a factory in China, and you've now got to get it to the port in China. What do you reckon a time scale for that is? 3 days, okay? Next, what comes next? So now you've got it to the port. What's next? Freight. So that's the freight from, typically that's going to be sea, let's just say it's sea freight. Sea freight from China into Australia, USA. How long is it going to be on that big freighter for? So let's just say 30 to, 40 days? Number 5. Next, what comes after? So you've got it on your freighter. It now arrives in Australia or the USA. What's next? Customs. Good on you, Sue. I can see you do a lot of this. So customs in destination country. I was going to put destination cunt then, just as a short version of that. But I won't, because that could be misconstrued as something else. Customs destination. How long is that going to take? All right, so let's say it's between 1 and 7. So what's next? So it's got you to go customs. You've passed customs, let's say in Australia. What's next? Shipping to FBA. Yeah, good. So shipping to FBA warehouse. How long is that? 2 days? Yeah, 2 days. And then we've got it to Amazon. It's at the Amazon warehouse. What's next? Check in. Yeah? How long does that take? Normally that's going to take 1 to 7 days, okay? All right. So that's pretty normal. And we've gone here, I think you'll agree, we've got like a good situation and a, kind of worse situation. So if we add all of those up, and Darren says we should also have a contingency as well, we absolutely should have contingency. What have we got? Hold on, let me just quickly do some math. So we've got, 51 days? Is that right? To 53, is it 51? Could be 53. I will believe you more than believe me. All right, so there you go. Okay, so what does that now tell us? Okay, well now that tells us that from the second that Ronnie realizes he needs to order some stock, he's between 53 in a good situation and 80 in a quote unquote not so good situation, 80 days away from getting the stock into his store. So he needs to be between, say, 80 days beforehand, 3 months, he needs to order beforehand. Okay, so then the next question is, how does he know when he's 3 months out of stock? Well, you got to look at your daily sales and project out. Simple as that. Okay, so that's how you would figure that out. You got to, if you've got, you know, if you're selling 10 sales a day and you've got 1,000 units in stock, then you've got 100 days worth of stock on hand. So Ronnie needs to kind of manage that. But as Darren also pointed out, there's a couple of mitigating circumstances. So when you're projecting into the future, you've got a couple of things you want to look at. First thing you want to look at is what holidays are coming up. So you would know, for instance, if you've got Amazon Prime coming up, then holy shit, you really need to order a lot more stock to cover your needs of your business during that period of time. Same for Christmas or Valentine's, something like that, okay? So you've got to have those kind of things you've got to take into consideration. You've also got to consider if your product is a seasonal product, you've got to consider that as well. So you've got to factor in that, and also you've got to factor in some fudge factor as well. You've got to give yourself some leeway for things going on that are kind of outside of your control. Any single one of these can blow out. Any single one of them can blow out. It's a total black swan event for all of them to blow out, but it happens. It happens, and so you've got to give yourself some of that. Now, the other thing to consider as well, as Lindsay has now, and Tony has also said as well, is you've now got, so that's all things within your country, the destination country, yeah? But then you've got things in China going on as well. So you've got Chinese New Year coming up, you've got Moon Festival we've just had, you've got all sorts of stuff going on there as well. You've got ports going to shit. So you've got all that going on as well, okay? It's part art and part science. And what I do is I look to order in such a way, and this is just based on my own experience. My number one rule is don't run out of stock. That's my number one rule, okay? And I've already explained earlier tonight that Amazon operates in 7-day periods, well, 1-day increments and then 7 days. And if you're out of stock for 14 days, then you need to relaunch your product. That's bad. If it's less than 14 days, typically you can get your stock back in and you can kind of get back in the game really quickly. But you don't want to be out of stock for any more than 14 days. Over and above the fact that you lose a lot of money in sales, you'll also lose a lot of money in the relaunch costs for your product as well, okay? So something to consider there. That was a video from my regular Monday night Q&A session with the members of the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. We are the fastest growing community of e-commerce entrepreneurs here in Australia. We have over 2,500 members and growing, and our sales are over $50 million. If you'd like to find out more about what we do and come and join us, get yourself off to www.aussieonlineentrepreneurs.com.au. The link is in the description, and I will see you on the inside. Until then, bye.